Welcome to Rabbit Hole Roundtable Talks. I am MK. Woo!
And I'm wanted.
Woo! Hell yeah! All right. So, welcome to a Wednesday. We're gonna be covering odd news, as you guys should know by now. And today we got something interesting. This old. Nah, let me stop. I was gonna be mean, but I may not. So, there's a video for this one, and there's also like an article to read. So I'm going to read the article because it's really short. And then if you want, we can watch the video. All right. So this is
Such a
from
throwback to a different.
UPI.com. It's an overdue book returned to New Jersey Library after 99 years. Yeah. So an 81-year-old woman going through boxes of her mother's belongings made a surprising discovery. An overdue library book checked out by her grandfather 99 years earlier. Berkeley Township resident Mary Cooper said she was going through a box of items that had belonged to her mother when she came across the book Homemade Toys for Girls and Boys by A. Neely Hall and discovered it had been borrowed from the Ocean County Library in March of 1926. First of all, kudos to Grandpa for wanting to make toys for the kids. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But why did Manny return the book?
Anything could happen, bro. Anything.
I mean, maybe he borrowed it and then died immediately. Potentially. All right. So Cooper learned her grandfather, Charles Tilton, had been the one to check the book out 1 year before he died. Wow.
We gotta read
You
first.
literally just said it. I thought, I don't have grandchildren, and my kids are getting older. Even if my son took it, I didn't know what they do with it, Cooper told CNN. I figured it belongs to the library. The Ocean County Library said the book return comes at a serendipitous time, as the library system is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. Librarians said the facility no longer imposes late fees, but they jokingly estimated it would have racked up about $18,000 in fees over the past 99 years. Pause.
That's the
Library
last
don't take
sentence,
late
bro.
fees.
That's the last sentence.
Let me just cook. Okay, let me read the last sentence. The book has a new permanent home in a glass display case at the Ocean County Library branch in Toms River. Okay, pause.
Yes.
Well, not pause. But why don't they take fees anymore? Is that a good thing, you think?
I'm completely unsure.
Because I would just borrow a bunch of books and not return them because I don't have to.
At
Free
that point,
book.
you give it away.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't personally do it because I am a person who follows rules, but I could see somebody just taking books and just like, they don't have a fee, so I don't have any incentive to return it
They
if I
said
don't want to.
fines can create barriers to library access, particularly for low-income individuals, and disproportionately affect communities of color.
Fair. I mean, I get that,
But then, like you
but then
said,
why
people can
not
just
just
steal the
lower the
book.
fine? Yeah, why not just lower the fine to like a few cents or something?
Isn't
I
it?
guess at that point, it's like, well, if it's a few cents, then what's the point?
I think it's like 25 cents for late fee, though. Like,
Really?
I think so,
Hold on.
because
Let me actually check.
let's see, 10 to 20 cents per book in my city.
Mm. My city don't have late fees anymore.
So I think it's like an honor system at that point. But I think it's a little bit too lenient because then you just, I guess the only thing is you can't get any more books beyond the one you already have. That's probably like the limit,
True. Yeah.
or the ones you already
And then there's
took.
also the fees here are for like lost or damaged books.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually fair. Actually, you know what? I think I'm for it.
Yeah.
Because if you borrow a book and you don't return it, you can't get any more books. That's incentive enough to return the book. I think that's fair.
Correct. And then it gives you enough time to finish the book at a casual pace instead of like trying and rush to the books in like 2, 3 weeks or whatever it is.
Yeah. But in that case, why even put a due date on the book at all then?
Because for everybody to get access to the books. Whoa.
Yeah. What happened?
Oh, my computer was tripping over here.
Oh my gosh. I hope did you press record?
I did press record. It's not affecting the recording at all.
Okay, okay, okay. But yeah, I mean, I guess everything has pros and cons. There's no perfect system. I mean, to me, the best system would be to go completely digital, and then that way you could just put a timer, and the book will automatically return on its own without having to worry about people bringing it back. But I think the problem with that is, I think it is better to read a book like a physical book than to read a digital book,
Yeah,
personally.
I agree. Okay.
You want to watch this video of this old fart?
Wow, chill. She did nothing to you.
Yeah, but she old. That's enough. I'm ageist. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Ready?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Time,
ready.
a simpler time.
Yeah. When I was
I
going
want to
through
borrow that
some of
book.
my mother's things, I'm looking through and I find this book.
Homemade Toys for Girls and Boys, and it was published in August of 1915.
And I find the dates, and I'm thinking
1915?
this had to have been taken out by my grandfather. They're supposed to be returned 3/31/26. And unfortunately, he passed away the next year. His name was Charles Tilson. He was a boatwright and a carpenter. I had a boat that he made for my mom.
I think there's something about a boat in here, right?
And he had a little girl, and I'm sure that making toys was probably on his
He
mind.
stole the
Looks like we're missing
page.
a couple pages.
And
I
that's
said I have
crazy.
to return this book to the library. I was sure they would like to have it back.
You know, this is like a once in a lifetime thing, Mary. Mary had said, you're going to want to take a look at this. It's 99 years late, but this book is in great shape. That's why everybody was so excited when you brought it in. What a serendipitous thing to
Yeah, that's
happen
cool.
that during our 100th year is when this book got returned. Divine intervention, it really is. It would probably, with inflation and everything else, be over $18,000 in fines, but we don't have fines anymore. We are fine-free, which makes it even more easy and accessible for people to enjoy the library. Would you like to do the honors of putting this book in its place
Yes,
in the
please.
archives? The book is going to
Nice.
be in our archives in a locked case so that it can be viewed and, appropriately handled. It's finally in its home for years to come. Over time, libraries have had to really shift and change to go with the times. What they were 100 years ago is much different than what they are now. Now they're community hubs, they're meeting spaces. We offer programs,
Yeah.
events. We really try to aim to represent our communities that we are in. We're going to be around for 1,000 years. I won't be here to see it, but I hope and pray that libraries will always exist in some way. You really sparked something
I
special
hope so
here
too.
in Ocean County.
I hope so too, man. I hope libraries are here forever. I mean, I don't know with the current admin how much he's gonna mess up the country before things get back to being normal again. But if like he doesn't mess up the country too much, I think libraries will stay around forever. I hope.
Hopefully, the new generation seems like it's gonna be more so like digital than like in person, but in person has a different vibe and a different like feel to it.
Yeah, I'm praying for a future where humans realize like, okay, these things are useful, like being digital and having online access and all this, but there's parts of the human experience that are necessary for healthy, like mental health and all that, and social health. And so there's going to be hopefully a push culturally, even governmentally, to get people to be back to doing stuff in person, like reading books and having parks and stuff like that.
Yep, yep,
And that was a good one,
it was.
even with me being facetiously mean to that lady. All right, which brings us to the next thing. So this guy decided he wanted to go through the TSA at the airport. Um, and what happened was A man was found with a live turtle concealed in his pants by TSA at a New Jersey airport. Oh, both stories are in New Jersey, by the way.
Yeah, I
Didn't
saw
realize
that.
that. There's a theme! Woo! I love doing themes. All right. So, in New York, New Jersey, a Pennsylvania man who was going through security at a New Jersey airport was found to have a live turtle concealed in his pants, according to the Federal Transport Security Administration. The turtle was detected Friday after a body scanner alarm went off at the New York Library International Airport. A TSA officer then conducted a pat down on the East Strudesburg man and determined there was something concealed in the groin area of his pants. When questioned further, the man reached into his pants and pulled out the turtle, which was about 5 inches long and wrapped in a small blue towel. He said it was a red ear slider turtle, a species that is popular as a pet. The man whose name was not released of course it wasn't released. I bet you he not anyway. Was escorted from the checkpoint area by the Port Authority police and ended up missing his flight. The turtle was confiscated, and it's not clear the turtle was the man's pet or why he had it in his pants. He didn't want to pay the fees.
Probably.
We have seen travelers try to conceal knives and other weapons. By the way, pause.
Yes.
One time I was traveling, right? And I had my knife on me. And I forgot to put it in my check-in. And so I was going through the airport, like everything.
Nonchalant.
And yeah, like I completely forgot about it, dude. And they were like, "What's this in your pocket?" I was like, "Oh," I was like, "I forgot." It was like, "You know, we have to take it, right?" I was like, "Do you have to? I promise I won't stab anybody."
You lie, you lie.
Well, I didn't say the last part. I just said, "Do you have to?" And they were like, "It was like yes." So I had to give it to them.
Was it expensive?
Awesome, very good. I got it for free from my father-in-law, but it was a pretty nice knife, man.
Did you replace it?
Nah, I need to get a knife soon.
Okay.
Anywho, they have seen travelers travel to try to conceal knives and other weapons on their person, in their shoes, or in their luggage. However, I believe this is the first time we have come across someone who was concealing a live animal down the front of his pants, said Thomas Carter, TSA's Federal Security Director for New Jersey. As best as we can tell, the turtle was not harmed by the man's actions. He said the incident remains under investigation, and it wasn't clear if the man would face any charges or penalties.
My
What do you
brain.
think people would say?
Wait, my brain just went to him. Let's say he's trying to take over the plane and he's like, I have a shell. I've seen it in Mario Kart. You don't want to mess with me.
Yeah, doing the most.
What were you going to say? Sorry. What you asked
Imagine
me?
him getting chased with a shell in his hand, like, oh
Man,
man. The only thing is, the turtle was only an inch long. It was like a baby turtle.
5 inches.
5 inches?
You read it.
Oh, I thought it was a 1 inch. I don't know why. I just like picture a baby turtle like a really tiny turtle.
That's 5 inches like this big, dude.
I know, but I thought he had it wrapped in a towel. I was like, how he wrap a tiny little turtle and it didn't get harmed? That's why I was like confused at first.
It's probably
Oh man.
like a shop rag or something. They call it a towel. I don't know what they call it a towel. Because a towel would definitely bulge out a lot, no matter how small it
Yeah.
is. Unless it's like a washcloth. They call it a towel.
Maybe it's like one of those towels that you have in the kitchen to dry your hands with.
That's still
You
too
know?
much towel. I
Mm.
don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
My thing is,
Yo,
with the mix of his body odor and turtle smell, what did the inside his pants smell like?
why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
I just I just curious, like,
What do turtles smell like?
was it like I actually don't know. Maybe fishy.
Maybe.
Have you ever eaten like an exotic animal, like a non-standard animal?
Alligator count?
Yeah,
Alligator.
I've never eaten it. I guess does goat count?
No, it does not count. Well, it counts depending on where you
That's
are.
yeah,
But I would say
because
no,
I
not
see
for
people in
us.
this. Yeah,
Octopus?
I see people in the states. Octopus don't count.
Okay.
That's calamari.
But that's exotic. It's not from the USA. You see, that's why exotic
Yeah, but
it
it's
has
like
so much different connotation it could have.
no, but I clarified. Like I said, non-standard.
Non
Like
octopus is standard,
non-standard. That is standard
but
in a restaurant.
then I guess.
Wait. No. To be fair, escargot
It's in a
would be
restaurant.
non-standard.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. And even fish eggs. Ah, damn, that's rough.
That's why I say there's a
Okay,
lot of
yeah.
nuance to it.
It does count.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does count. It does count. Well, that's all we have for you guys today.
You know, you know why that's funny? Is like we like get hype, blah blah blah. All right, see y'all later.
you know what's funny? That's how I am in phone calls too, by the way. Like talking to my mom, and I'm like, all right, mom, gotta go. And then she's like continue the conversation. I'm like, oh, I thought we were ending there.
Happens to me too. It's like they talking. Okay, bye. Oh, okay. What you say?
Yeah. It happens at work. It happens everything. Like my boss be in the middle of a sentence, and I just in the middle of saying, "See you later." Oh man.
Well, see you guys later for real though.
All right. Peace.